What is up, guys? We're gonna jump right into it again this week because we have the Trevor Hildenberger on with us this week talking movies with our good friend Alex Bauer. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, joining us now, we have two very special guests with us. Our first guest, he's starting to become a regular on the show now. It is our movie aficionado, Alex Bauer. Alex, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
And another guest, he is the 2018 fourth in the American League in relief appearances. And another movie aficionado, Trevor Hildenberger. Hildy, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
All right, let's just jump into some movie talk because we got two of the best movie minds around town right now. All right,
I'm gonna get blown out of the water by Alex.
Well, you know what? Let's start with a simple one. We'll just go last movie that you watched, and if you liked it or not. Let's start off with Alex Bauer to set the tone. Alex, last movie you saw?
It was Aliens. Which was my first time watching it. It was on HBO Max, and I decided I might as well watch it. And it lives up to expectations. It's pretty awesome. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's touted as one of the best sequels ever made. So it definitely lived up to that.
That's James Cameron, right? He did Aliens.
Yeah, yes, he did, and
he's the best one.
Yeah, it's definitely better than the first one.
Yeah, the first one is a lot more thriller, heightened kind of terror, and Aliens is a little bit more actiony, I think. But
and I feel like with Aliens too, it's the characters stand out more, so you kind of know, you can kind of follow the people a little bit more. With the original Alien, it's just like everyone's kind of the same, and it's just like, who am I rooting for? Who do I care about?
All right, Hildy, last movie you watched?
The last movie that I watched, I think, was one of the new Pete Davidson ones that just came out. I think it was Big Time Adolescence. I haven't seen the other one yet. It was okay. I mean, it killed an hour and a half for me.
There you go.
But I wouldn't watch it again anytime soon. But I chuckled a couple times.
I almost did King of Staten Island tonight, and if other people had seen it, I was gonna watch it. But it's like $20 to rent. That's a little excessive.
Yeah.
So, I threw on Knives Out tonight.
How did you like Knives Out?
Oh, I loved it. It was good. A lot of fun. Trevor, have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, it was good. Okay, we won't ruin any plot twists.
Spoilers.
Yeah, no.
That has a lot of plot twists and spoilers, so that is one you have to go in blind, definitely. The typical question is always what's your favorite movie? But I like to pose it as you're on a stranded island, and you can bring 5 movies to watch. What are your 5?
Ooh, so most rewatchable?
Kind of, yeah.
That's different than my top 5 movies, because if I'm straight on and I'm gonna watch something funny,
right,
that consistently makes me laugh. Ooh, Young Frankenstein, I think is really fun.
Excellent movie.
A lot of Mel Brooks. I would bring Old Boy. It's a Korean movie.
Okay.
Korean original from 2003, not the Spike Lee remake.
Yeah.
And, I've only watched Uncut Gems twice. And I hear that the more you watch it, the more things you see and the more you notice. So I guess I would go with Uncut Gems.
My thing with Uncut Gems on a stranded island is I would already be stressed out with the fact that I'm stranded on an island. I feel like I wouldn't need that added stress. And I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I know the ending. So the thrill of Kevin Garnett winning the tip-off is not knowing the ending. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I think the amount of fast talking and characters that are in the movie would just make me feel like I'm not alone on the stranded island.
Good point. Good. Did you pick up something the second time where you're just like, whoa?
I noticed the score a lot more. I noticed the music a lot more. Because the first one, I'm just so stressed out, worried about the plot. So it was different, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was trying to watch that tonight, and Jordan said, I'm not in the mood for Adam Sandler. I'm like, but I don't think it's a normal Adam Sandler movie. And She said later this weekend, so we did Knives Out.
All right, Xander, I'll say this about Uncut Gems. Adam Sandler in that, it's just like Click. So
Yeah, it's like Click in that. Yeah.
Click made me cry.
what?
When? At what part?
At what part of the movie?
Spoiler alert, doesn't the dad die? If I'm remembering correctly.
Oh my
Does he?
God. When did we watch Click? I just remember watching that when I was 7. And even as a 7-year-old, I'm just like, this is a comedy?
Yeah, I just remember it being very emotional. I cried.
I don't remember much of Click.
Okay.
I don't believe I've ever seen Click.
You're not
It's the
missing
one-
much.
Yeah, you have.
That's fair.
You can he fast forwards through time and stuff, and then he like mutes his wife who's nagging at him while he's watching a Yankees game. That's pretty much the only part I remember that.
All right, you got 2 more. Can you? Is there other ones that come to mind?
Let's think. Something long and like visually stunning.
Gone with the Wind.
No,
Jesus.
maybe like The Revenant. Or
Oh,
Ooh, that's a
Ooh.
good movie.
Interesting.
that's a good call.
yeah, probably. Let's go with The Revenant and then something old,
Castaway.
older, black and white.
Oh, classics. Let's bring it on.
Yeah, like a Hitchcock, like a Dial M for Murder, maybe.
Oh,
It's not a movie, but the entire box set of Alfred Hitchcock Presents could definitely kill some
Yeah.
time on a stranded island.
That's a good call.
is that Dial M for Murder? Is that your go-to Hitchcock?
No, Vertigo. Vertigo is my
Vertigo.
all favorite movie.
Really?
So, yes, Vertigo's number 1.
That's a stressful one.
Yeah, it gets less stressful.
Yeah.
The more you watch it, it gets less stressful. But it's number 1, but it wouldn't be with me like rewatchable. I got to take off some time in between viewings.
What? Was it just you just watched a lot of movies as a kid growing up, or are you fascinated by the filmmaking or the history of it? Like, why films?
You know, I didn't. I mean, I watched a normal amount of movies growing up, but not like a ton. Yeah. And then when I was in college, I didn't really know what to study. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I took a I don't even remember the title of the class, but we wrote a paper on the book Children of Men, and then watch the movie Children of Men, and how they handled the topics differently or something. So I wrote about the movie, and there's like a 6-minute long like single take, right?
Mhm.
It's like one of the longest takes I've ever seen. And so I wrote about that scene, and my professor said, like, this is actually really well done paper. Have you ever thought about like writing about movies? And I said, no, not really. She's like, oh, this is well done and has a good critical eye. Like, maybe you should look into that. Because she knew that I was lost. So I watched a bunch of movies. I took a bunch of film classes after that. I took a Spielberg class, a Kubrick class, like a basic like film technology class. And then I wrote my thesis on Hayao Miyazaki and Steven Spielberg films and how they both grew up in like a post-war era, but one in Japan and one is obviously a Jewish American man. So their stance on globalism and nationalism, how they portrayed that differently, both through the mediums, like one animation, one live action, and then the topics and films that they made.
That's pretty awesome.
College life starts. That was a long-winded answer.
Right. No, that's awesome. Do you find sometimes I feel like this with studying a filmmaker or writing about a filmmaker that like I can't return to it watching the movie with like pleasure, or joy, because you spend so much time studying it. So do you find that stuff with like Spielberg or some of the ones you studied?
Yeah. Like I've watched Princess Mononoke enough where it's not even, it used to be one of my favorites. And now it's like, this scene again. Like Spielberg, less so. I think his movies are pretty universal for me. They're just like popcorn entertainment.
Right.
Jurassic Park's on. I'm gonna watch Jurassic Park, Jaws, Saving Private Ryan. I mean, Minority Report, which is super underrated Spielberg film. If you haven't seen that, that's a good watch. Number 1 recommendation tonight is to watch Minority Report.
I've only seen that once. I got to rewatch it. I got to revisit it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest Tom Cruise fan, but I like that movie a lot.
You have to give Tom Cruise this. He's like the perfect action star. You know, like
He really is.
whatever he goes on with his personal life, it's whatever. But like when he's on screen, he's like so captivating, and you just like want to watch him jump off planes and stuff.
100%. And he sells it, and I buy it every time.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
15 Mission Impossible movies, and I'll watch every single one.
Well, it's because he's actually doing it.
Yeah, the impressive amount of stunts he does too. I watched this YouTube video of him getting in an F1 car,
Okay.
driving an F1 car competently, which is incredibly hard to do. And like he takes a couple laps around this place in California or Texas when the USA Grand Prix was in Texas, I think. He drove a Red Bull car a couple times. And then they get in the Red Bull helicopter, and he's flying the helicopter and does like a fucking barrel roll or a flip. Like he's psychotic with the adrenaline rushes. So
He goes all out.
yeah, all the stunts he does in action movies, that's him.
I'm interested in the new Top Gun movie that's coming out just because he like actually flew the planes.
Really?
Yeah, like the Top Gun Maverick, which is coming out. I think it was supposed to come out this summer, but obviously it's pushed back with what's going on.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like actually in the actual planes flying them around.
That's insane.
That's dedication right there.
Do you want to see that though, or do you think it's going to ruin? Like, there's no way that's going to be as. I mean, I like Top Gun a lot. It's obviously a cheesy '80s movie, but like, is it going to ruin it? You think?
There's no way I'm not seeing it. It's a very real possibility that it will ruin the original, but there's no way I'm not going to see it. Like I watched Dumb and Dumber 2 when that came out like 20 years later, and that was horrible.
Right.
What about Super Troopers 2?
I didn't see that.
I haven't seen it yet either. Have you seen the original one?
Oh yeah, of course. That's
great. Like I hadn't seen that movie, and someone in my like my freshman, I guess, suite mate, like, have you seen this? I was like, no. And I watched it once. I'm like, oh my God, this is unbelievably hilarious. And now it's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. It's a perfect if it's on TV, I'm throwing it on. Yeah.
Like if you had a basic cable subscription in my teenage years, like it was on Comedy Central every other day.
Yeah.
It was like Wedding Crashers on TBS. Wedding Crashers on TBS. FX always had like the original Iron Man, and then Comedy Central always played like Half Baked or Super Troopers.
Are you a big FX guy?
Not really. Too many commercials.
Yeah.
Do you watch any of those shows?
Oh, I watch Devs.
That's Alex Garland.
Yeah.
The sci-fi. Yeah, the sci-fi.
Yeah. Deus Ex Machina. Am I saying that right?
Ex Machina, yeah.
Ex Machina. Yeah.
Alex Bauer and I, we actually we did a movie episode probably like last month, and we talked about Devs, and that was my whole thing. Was it was really interesting, but I was just like I can watch like American Horror Story on FX, like I do pretty well with horror, but that one just like kind of creeped me out a little too much, and it's just like I don't really if I can vibe with the whole like futuristic kind of sci-fi horror, and like I couldn't get into it past that. Like I had such a hard time wanting to continue watching that show.
Really? That's interesting.
Ex Machina is like that though. It's like that weird sci-fi horror, but I think it works so well just because it's just like so out there crazy that you will pay attention.
It's not like gory or
right.
just like jump scary, like things are jumping out of the closet at you, but it's very unsettling.
Yeah.
And the feeling you get is very uncomfortable even after the episode ends or the movie ends. And I appreciate that ability to impact my emotions far beyond like when I'm done watching the thing. If a movie makes me think about it a day later or a week later, then I know it's a good movie.
I felt the same way with Sorry to Bother You with Lakeith Stanfield, because I was thinking about that movie for a solid week after that, and I was watching Atlanta earlier today, and anytime I see Lakeith Stanfield, I just think of that movie, and it just puts my brain into a total mindfuck.
Yeah. Sorry to Bother You. That's a unique one.
That was another one where you just like I just went in knowing nothing and left like what the hell.
No,
that's the only way you can go into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to say to prepare someone for that movie?
Because people have asked me about it, like, what about it? I'm like, it's different. It's like, it's not what you're going to expect. Because, like, the first half of that movie is, like, a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
And then it just goes to a totally different level of just
The act in that movie is totally unexpected, to say the least. No spoilers.
But kind of going back to what you said, I agree with you. Where if you leave a movie and you think about it like a week later, or you have like an emotional reaction to it, however you feel about that movie, I think it's a success that it actually affected you emotionally or triggered something. Like I always love when a movie makes me cry, just because I just don't know anything about any of these people, but it's affected me personally. So I do always think that's always at least an successful attempt at a movie if it affects you like that.
I agree 100%.
Trevor, what's the last movie you cried in the theaters at?
Ooh.
In the theaters?
When's the last time you went to a theater?
Cried in the theaters. I don't remember. Is it within the last 2 years?
What usually gets you like emotional? Is it something sad or funny or just like?
Yeah, something sad.
No, that's like for me. It's always like dad or daughter stories or single parent stories. I don't know.
Like Pursuit of Happiness or something?
Oh yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
movie.
I think I watched I Am Sam. It's like a Sean Penn movie from like 20 years ago, 15 years ago now. I remember like bawling in my living room. This was a while ago. But in theaters, yes, I don't know, probably a Pixar movie where like the parents died or something.
A Star is Born got me a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, Star is Born.
For me, it was
sad.
The Hate U Give. I was bawling throughout that movie.
Didn't see that. Who's in that?
Recommend. That's the oh my god, it's based on the young adult book. It's Amanda Steinberg, and she witnesses her friend being shot by the police, and then she goes and kind of speaks out against it. It's very moving, and especially what's kind of going on currently. It's more so moving.
Yeah, for sure. I'll check that out.
Yeah, definitely recommend. But I was wondering, like, in a normal baseball schedule, like, how do you get your movies in? Are you going to theaters? Are you watching on the iPad?
Yeah, laptop. I bring with me.
Laptop?
I mean, in normal, I can't watch them on planes. So I don't do it like on planes or buses. But a night game, bro, it's like I'm gonna have a Red Bull in like the 6th inning, and if I don't pitch, like, I'm up. I'm gonna be up late. So it's like, let's turn on a movie. And you can sleep in the next day. You got a night game the next day. So I watch some late night movies for sure.
Did you ever have a bad movie watching experience on a plane? Because mine was watching Barbershop 2, The Next Cut. That was probably the worst movie I've ever seen, and I happened to be on a plane.
I think I watched, tried watching Free Solo on a plane, and I got like 30 seconds to it, and I was like, no. I'm terrified of heights. I'm not a great flyer to begin with. And like that movie just made me sweat profusely, and I was like, "Nah, I'm done. Next."
What
That's
were
the
you
last
thinking?
movie to watch if you're afraid of heights.
And the screen is this big, and it still feels like you're on the rock with him.
It's pretty incredible. Like you're watching on a screen, but you still feel that depth of him climbing up.
Visceral, absolutely visceral.
Trevor, did you see The Lighthouse?
No.
Ooh,
I heard it was bad. That's what I heard from one friend. I only know one friend who's seen it.
It was different.
Oh yeah, it's like a sorry to bother you type of thing, where you're just like, you gotta go see it.
I wouldn't compare it to sorry to bother you.
It's an experience, is what I'm saying. It's like,
yes, it's an experience.
It's terrible because it's like off. It's not a normal movie.
It's what you least expect. But like you'd appreciate like the Dave Dave Eggers, I think is the guy who directed it. He directed The Witch, and he appreciates the filmmaking aspect of it, where he like used old cameras from that time period, and everything is the lighthouse was constructed to that time period, so everything is like perfect the way it looks. It's just the story is just bonkers.
Okay, love that.
Yeah, that's a memorable one for sure.
Yeah, it's you'll either be like, oh, I appreciate the maritime movie, or you're gonna be like, what did I just watch?
What give me a hot take movie that you either like or dislike, something that's popular that you may dislike, or something that's not.
This isn't that hot of a take, but Forrest Gump is horrendous.
How so?
Thank you.
It's boring. It makes a white guy like the hero of the civil rights movement. It's just like, it's not palpable to me. I used to like it as a kid, and then I watched it in college, and I was like, this kind of stinks.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to see like him superimposed with like the historical moments as a kid. Like you just like, whoa, that's pretty cool. But
Like deep videos.
yeah. But like watching it as an adult, it just doesn't really stick with you. But I think that won the Oscar for Best Picture, if I remember correctly.
I think it did. I think it beat something in '94. I think it beat Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Which is a joke.
Which is my hot take. I don't like Pulp Fiction.
You don't like Pulp Fiction?
No,
you like
I don't. Tarantino's very hit or miss for me. I either really like it or really don't like it.
You like The Hateful Eight?
That's one of the better ones. My favorite one is Inglourious
That
Bastards.
movie sucks. Hateful Eight is bad.
Why? How so?
Bro, he shot it in 70 millimeter and spent 2.5 of the 2 hours and 45-minute runtime in a cabin.
Fair enough.
Like, why are you shooting it in super IMAX and shooting nothing but wood panels? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Probably. Yeah, no, cinematically I'm with you, but I feel like The Hateful Eight his characters are on point in that one. Like, I feel like I got to know all of them. But yeah, I agree with. I know what you're saying, where it's just like, oh, it's just kind of visually boring. We're just in a cabin the whole time.
Yeah. Visually, it was upsetting knowing that going in. But I think you're right. Like, characters and narrative-wise, like, Tarantino hits the nail on the head.
I'm a big Western guy, so I appreciate the Western setting and location for that too.
You do. What's your favorite Western?
My favorite Western, it used to be The Searchers because that was like the first big one that I watched. But I would have to say 3:10 to Yuma. Both original and the remake are awesome movies.
Never seen the original, but I like the remake a lot.
Yeah, the remake's really good. The original is, I mean, it's pretty much the same, just same story-wise. But you know, you get that black and white photography, and it's a little starker. And I know both of them are very good.
Did you guys like Hell or High Water?
I did like that. That's about the bank robberies.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah,
I like that movie.
I had like a Western kick last year, and I can't remember the names of any of the other ones, but I watched like 4 straight. They all are basically the same plot: bank robbers running through the desert, yada yada yada. But
yeah,
hey,
they're all the same.
I'm a big Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid guy. I love that movie.
Oh.
Classic. You guys, a question.
Yeah.
What was the last movie that you regretted spending money on and or walked out of?
I've never walked out of a movie. But money-wise, it was that Fantasy Island that came out like maybe 6 or 7 months ago. But it's basically a horror movie, like one of those B/slashy horror movies. And I saw it in theaters because I was like bored and nothing else to do. And it was literally like a twist for the sake of the twist. There was like no story to whatsoever. It's just like, we're just gonna have a twist to have a twist. And it was awful.
I strongly disliked It, the new one. I thought that was a waste of time and money.
And the second one?
The one that came out I think 2 years ago. Wasn't a fan.
I walked out of a Jennifer Lawrence movie where she's like a spy. She's like a Russian spy.
Red
Red
Sparrow?
Yeah.
Oh. That's another hot take. Jennifer Lawrence, no thank you.
Wow, Jennifer Lawrence is golden.
Yeah, well, Jennifer Lawrence or Jennifer Lawrence movies?
Jennifer Lawrence movies. I feel like she tries too hard.
See, I don't get that vibe, but I understand that. I feel that way about Halle Berry. Halle Berry never gets past acting. Like, I never buy her character, whatever it is. It's always just like, oh, that's Halle Berry impersonating someone.
I think that's what I feel like with Jennifer Lawrence as like a person. Like anytime I see her interviews, I feel like it's all an act. Like she's just like trying to be normal. I feel like she's acting.
Sure, yeah.
And I guess I just can't get past it in the movies.
Trevor, what is the best quote from any sports movie.
Baby Ruth.
Yeah.
Some lady signed the ball. Baby Ruth. Baby Ruth. That's the best quote of all time.
Were you a big Sandlot kid?
Huge Sandlot kid.
I love that movie.
That's my number one baseball movie.
Yeah, me too.
Sandlot, Major League,
It's a good movie.
Bull Durham. 61, low-key great baseball movie.
I just watched The Pride of the Yankees with Gary Cooper, where he plays Lou Gehrig, and it's pretty, like, he's pretty miscast because he plays Lou Gehrig through like college, through like him retiring and getting ALS. So it's just like, okay, this is just Gary Cooper the whole time. But Babe Ruth plays himself in the movie, and it's awesome just to see Babe Ruth just like smoking cigars and hitting bombs. Like, it's amazing.
Have you guys seen the baseball movie called The Scout?
Wait, is that the Clint Eastwood one?
No, that's Trouble with the Curve.
Yeah, no, that's Trouble with the Curve. That's actual A Scout.
What's the Scout?
About a scout.
I think it's about Brendan Fraser is like this really high prospect.
Is it new? Is it newer?
No, it's not new. It is old. It's from 1994. Sport comedy. It's like Albert Brooks and Brendan Fraser.
Okay.
And the baseball parts of it are laughable, and I encourage all baseball fans to watch that movie.
It has a 22 on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's tough. You're going to have to get through it with, some beers or something, but.
All right, well, we have some homework for this week.
Yeah, we got some
The
homework
Scout.
to do. Scout the Minority Report.
All right, Trevor, so you and your wife are expecting very soon. Congratulations. Are there any movies or TV shows that you watched as a kid that you would want to watch with your child?
I used to watch Arthur. Arthur Aardvark.
Yep.
Hey Arnold.
Oh, great show.
Rocket Power. I was a big Nickelodeon fan. But I guess I did like Dexter's Laboratory and Ed, Ed and Eddie on Cartoon Network.
Two classics. Xander and I, we're a big Nickelodeon fan. We can talk Rocket Power all day. I have a Tito quote as my high school yearbook quote.
That's awesome.
What's the quote?
As the ancient Hawaiians say, the coconut is always greenest on the palm tree you can't reach.
That's deep.
What's your favorite series of movies?
That's a good question. So the Korean movie I was talking about earlier, Old Boy, that director has a trilogy that have nothing to do with each other narratively, but all thematically. There's a movie called Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance and Lady Vengeance are the two other ones besides Old Boy. And they're all about retribution, vengeance, revenge. And they're all really, really good in their own right. They're all a little bit different. Even the colors and like the way he shot them and the lighting. I'm not sure if he used the same cinematographer or not, but that series is just like powerful all the way through.
Guys, I'm getting some breaking news here. Elizabeth Banks to play Miss Frizzle in live-action Magic School Bus movie.
Hey, that's a good casting.
I would say so too. I love Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
I also saw that they're trying to bring Margot Robbie into the Pirates of the Caribbean universe.
They're still making Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're trying to, at least.
Haven't seen a single one.
You haven't seen Pirates?
None of them.
Who's a actor or actress that you guys that's really popular but you guys can't stand?
Mine's either Kevin Hart or Rebel Wilson.
Those are two good picks. Yeah.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence is the one that kind of like, if I like see a trailer of her movie, it's like that's a pass with me already.
Damn, that's strong. Yeah. I don't love Will Smith movies.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
Is like I can tell he likes being on screen all by himself like way too much. It feels himself way too hard for me sometimes. As a movie star, and as like the main selling point of some movies, I get that. That's the point. But it just rubs me the wrong way.
Wasn't the newest movie with him starring him, and then the co-star was a younger version of himself?
Yes,
yeah.
CGI him. So he played both lead roles in a movie. Like, come on.
I'm going to go with Keanu Reeves outside of Hardball.
Wow, that's a hot take.
I don't really like him.
Why? He's a sweetheart.
Skeeves me out a little bit. I don't know.
You say Keanu Reeves?
Sure.
That's blasphemy.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But good job, because low-key, Hardball is a good baseball movie.
I don't know if I would call it a good baseball movie. It's enjoyable. It's more like a gambling movie, but
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Those kids win your heart.
yeah, they do.
Is there a director that you kind of stay away from?
No, there's no director that
Sticks out?
that
Is
sticks
there-
out that I wouldn't consider seeing. You know what I mean?
Is there one that you're like, I don't care what the movie is about, like I gotta go see the new blank movie?
Christopher Nolan.
Oh,
I mean, I'm gonna see whatever he puts out for sure.
sadly, Tenet keeps getting pushed back. It got pushed back again.
Yeah.
And that's a
Apparently,
movie.
people are hyping this up like it's gonna change filmmaking for like the next 10 years. Like, what did he do? I don't understand.
But that's a movie, like, it has to come out in theaters. Like, that's something you can't watch at home.
Yeah, it's an experience seeing in a
Absolutely.
big crowd.
I'm a big Coen Brothers guy. Fargo is a great movie. Did you ever see Fargo the show?
I never watched the show. No.
It's good.
Xander, is that your puppy?
That was my puppy. Pete, you had your University of Arizona question.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot. I hate to bring back bad memories, but as a proud student at the U of A and a big U of A baseball fan,
Yeah.
I have to ask this question. If someone were to play you at your Cal Berkeley days, who would play you specifically in the scene when you guys got swept by U of A in 2012?
2012. Yeah, they definitely came to our place and kicked our ass for 3 days. I remember Rob Refsnyder hitting absolute tanks.
Love that guy.
Who would play me? Bro, literally anybody. Like an extra could fill in because I was on the bench. I didn't play at all that year. Like you could put anyone you want in my role. I'm just cheering my heart out on the bench.
Who would play you on the Cedar Rapids Colonels or Chattanooga Lookouts, which, by the way, two of the best logos and mascots in minor league baseball.
Big facts. Those are great hats I still have today. I don't know, someone skinny with short brown hair.
I mean, if Keanu got a haircut, then I can.
I'm thinking, I'm getting the Keanu Hardball vibes.
If I wanted to be really kind to myself, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh,
in like Summer Catch, you know?
Is Summer Catch the worst baseball movie of all time?
No, but it's close. Summer Catch is great because there's just like the baseball's laughable. Like you'll see if you guys watch The Scout, it's the same thing.
Would you leave a game to meet up with your girlfriend going on a plane?
While you're throwing a no-hitter.
No, I wouldn't. But then again, like it is college summer ball, so like who cares?
That's true.
But I wouldn't leave a no-hitter, no.
Now that you signed with the Red Sox, what is the best Boston movie ever made?
Ooh.
Uncut Gems count? Not really.
No.
I like Fever Pitch.
Over The Departed and The Town?
Ooh, I forgot about The Departed. I don't like The Town, but The Departed, you're right. Departed.
Wow, hot takes.
Wow. Ooh, I don't know.
Well, is The Town highly regarded?
It's a good
The
Boston
Town.
movie.
Yeah,
Ted?
The Town is like
Fever Pitch over Ted?
Oh, that's my hot take. Mark Wahlberg. If he's in a movie, I won't see it.
You didn't like Ted?
Nah. That's out, dude. Mark Wahlberg is so far out.
I'll double with you. Seth MacFarlane, same thing. He's not funny.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane I'll never watch him.
Yeah, no thanks.
This is going to be very, very, very contentious in Boston when baseball comes back. Everyone in the bleachers who listen to Sip Talk, and it's like now pitching Trevor Hildenberger. Is that the guy who said he didn't like Ted?
Have you been to Boston before?
I have, yeah. When I was in Minnesota, we played there I think all 3 years I went there. Love the city. Love the park. Don't like Ted. Is Manchester by the Sea? How far away is that from Boston?
Oh, so that's like what, 40 minutes north?
Yeah.
That made me cry.
Yeah,
when-
that's a good movie.
When she apologizes to him at the street corner scene, that will live
Yeah.
with me forever.
Yeah, I know exactly the scene you're talking about. That's kind of the scene I envisioned when I talk about the movie.
I commute a lot on the train, and one of the train stops is Manchester by the Sea, and like you pull up and it's just a sign that says Manchester by the Sea, and it's like I get a tear in my eye every single time I see it.
Okay.
Opinions on Gone with the Wind in today's current climate. What are we doing?
I don't care. I don't care
either.
if it's if you are upset by the fact that it was taken off a streaming website. Like, you really want to watch Gone with the Wind that bad, and you really want to support it, go buy it. Like, it's not hard to find other places besides HBO Max. Like, when it came back to HBO Max, did people start flocking in with a subscription skyrocketing? Not really. Who cares? You want to go find it? Go find the movie. Go watch it.
I know they'll probably be watching it instead of NASCAR now, because because NASCAR's apparently ruined.
Yeah, right.
It's
I'm
just
trying
like,
to get into NASCAR now.
I know, me
It's like-
too. It's a nice opening
That-
for everyone.
NASCAR's the best. Please welcome
progressive
welcome
sport in the
all
United
NASCAR
States.
fans.
Well, I just learned about F1. But,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I knew about it, but like I just kind of got into it because of that Netflix show.
Yes,
Made it look
let's
so
go,
appealing.
Hildy.
It was so beautiful. I was like, I gotta like learn who these guys are. This sport is sick.
Yeah,
Yes.
we grew up every Sunday morning. It was my dad's favorite thing to watch.
F1.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching
Okay.
F1 since I was 4, like, and he was 7 or whenever. We would just get donuts and watch F1. Like, that was our entire childhood.
That's amazing. See, I wish I knew more about it, or I guess I could teach myself about it. But it's just so amazing. First of all, technologically, those machines that they,
Crazy.
and then like the way that the team principals handle press and like interviews is just totally opposite to how you would handle something in baseball. So that's just amazing to watch.
Who's your driver?
I like Leclerc.
Good choice.
I don't really like. I guess I should hold off judgment because
No, it's okay.
No. We want judgment. Let's go. Come on. Some hot F1 takes to wrap this up.
I don't love Sergio Perez, and I don't love Max Verstappen.
The younger? You don't like him?
I mean, he's like a great driver, but his interviews rub me the wrong way. I like Ricardo. I don't really like Vettel. Vettel seems.
What about Hamilton?
He is like Tom Brady in a way, of just like
I think he.
so long. He just like is. He's gonna be that guy you hate just because he's like really good.
Trevor-
He's such a douche, though.
Trevor, I'm just going to let you know, because you're new to F1, you have to subtract one of Hamilton's world championships because Timo Glock pulled over because he broke down and cost Felipe Massa the F1 championships. I'm going to let you know that right now because you're new. Subtract one championship from Lewis Hamilton because that should have been Felipe Massa's. There, I said it.
Okay, so he's got 5, so he needs 2 more to match Schumacher.
I will not let anyone touch Schumacher's record. Like he's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT.
Bro, so how many races they doing this year?
I think like 8 are.
They're starting up in a
They're
couple
starting-
weeks, right?
Yeah, like Austria or something.
Yeah, they're doing the Red Bull Ring like twice, I think.
Are you going to any other sports right now? Or are you like, wow, soccer's on right now? I'm a big soccer guy now.
No, I like soccer, but I'm not watching it. I really haven't watched any sports in like 3 months.
It's terrible. I'm getting withdrawals.
Yeah, I do miss competition
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
and like the fan aspect of watching sports on TV.
You'll soon be in the midst of it soon.
Yeah, let's hope this holds up. Looks like we're gonna try to do it, but
Yeah.
We'll see what happens because
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I can't. envision it. Well, first of all, some teams are like, we're going to have fans. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like Houston.
Yeah, I think it was Houston. And then I saw the San Antonio Missions. They're normally a AA team, but I think they're doing something different this year, it looked like. I don't know what they're doing. Or maybe it was something that looked like it's at San Antonio Missions. But anyway, there's a team from San Antonio that
Yeah.
like is having fans, and they're starting in like 2 weeks, and they have like $2 beer nights. Like, what
They're
are you?
trying to get that. They're just trying to get that money back.
Psychotic, bro.
Yeah, it's called looking out for short-term profits and completely disregarding any future profits.
Yep,
And we have to
I
shut
agree.
down for another 9 months.
As someone
Yep,
who goes to school in Arizona, I feel attacked by those statements because Governor Ducey has the best interest in mind. So who am I kidding? We're all, oh God, I don't know how I'm going to go back to class this fall. It's gonna be ridiculous. Governor Ducey fucked us all. There, I said it.
Northeastern doubled down on us having class in person. They sent an email today. They're like, this is what we're going to do. It's like, okay, cool. That's not going to happen, but
This is too many hot takes.
2 MBTA lines run through your campus. How is that safe?
I heard in Arizona that people for a drive-up testing were waiting like 3 or 4 hours for a test, like lined up in their cars in like 105-degree heat. But the Diamondbacks are going to go there and get tested like 5 times a week.
The Great
Yeah, it's
48. Alex Bauer, thank you so much for coming on again. And Trevor, thank you so much for joining us with your hot and, maybe cold takes on movies, especially regarding Ted. And we're not going to get into Ted 2, but no, Trevor, thank you so much for joining us. Really fun time.
Yeah, I had a blast. Thanks for inviting me on, guys.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Hildy, for coming on the show. That was a great time. We had some homework due this weekend. Xander, did you watch Minority Report yet? Because I have not. I've been busy.
I had it up on the Netflix screen. It was all set to go. And then I had to take the dog out for a walk. Did a couple things. And then I ended up watching Shark Attack Cape Cod, where the premise of the show was, are sharks coming after humans because the fish supply is so low? And it kept reiterating the point, are they bloodthirsty for humans? All the while I'm screaming at the television, it's the seals, it's the seals, it's because of the protected seals. And then finally, after 45 minutes, and it's the same, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because anytime they come back from break, they spend 2 minutes recapping the entire thing. We're in Cape Cod, where over the last 4 years, is it because they're bloodthirsty for humans? And finally, some guy with some sense is like, they're getting confused from seals, and there's so many seals. And I'm like, finally! And Jordan wasn't thrilled with my commentary. So no, I have not yet watched Minority Report.
I started watching a show I actually started watching 2 shows. The first one I watched was called Hate Thy Neighbor. That was recommended by one of my good friends because one of the episodes was about like far-right soccer hooligans who ended up forming a political party in the Ukraine. So that was interesting. And then I started watching some other episodes, and it's just some stand-up comedian from London who just started going around the US and interviewing like neo-Nazi groups and like evangelical groups. And he was just like, why do you hate these people? It was really interesting. Before I get to the second show I was watching, you brought up a dilemma for this upcoming football season.
Yeah, with the recent signing of Cam Newton, I love Cam Newton. I think he's awesome. And it got me thinking, like, do I want to buy a Cam Newton shirt? Because currently the only Patriots shirts with any names on them is a Tom Brady and a Drew Bledsoe. And then I kept on thinking, is it even appropriate to wear my Tom Brady jersey anymore? Or should I just retire it? Because, like, he decided to leave. Like, if I don't love wearing players' jerseys at this point in my life anymore, but like, he left. Why would I represent someone who voluntarily left here? So the question was, at what point is it if they've retired or not? Is it how they left, the circumstances of what they left? But like, whose jersey can you wear to the stadium if they leave you? Like David Ortiz, when the first season he wasn't on the Red Sox, it's obviously okay to wear a David Ortiz jersey because he retired as a Red Sox. But with Tom Brady, just because everyone has a jersey doesn't, like, yeah, you're gonna have to go shell out a couple more bucks. But I don't really think you should be representing Tom Brady.
Well, so let me bring you to my side of this because I love the Carolina Panthers, and I only have two Panthers jerseys: Steve Smith, who hasn't played on that team in years, and Cam Newton. But Cam Newton was released, and I mean, I don't like. I watch the NFL. I like the Panthers. I like the Patriots too, I guess, but I rarely wear my Panthers jerseys, maybe because they haven't been that good in quite some time. But would you say that it's appropriate for me to wear my Cam Newton jersey to support the Panthers because that's currently the one of two articles of Panthers clothing I have if I want to support the Panthers?
I would say no. I would say that's just like me going to Toronto and all they're wearing is a Jose Bautista or Josh Donaldson or Troy Tulowitzki jersey. Like, I'm sorry. Or like a Celtics fan who just only owns a Kyrie jersey. I'm sorry. Wear something else. Wear a plain Carolina Panthers shirt if you need to.
But here's the thing is that Cam Newton didn't cause a stink in the Panthers locker room. Cam Newton was cut. He was just hurt and he got cut. Kyrie is the enemy of the Celtics. Cam Newton's not coming out and spewing crap about the Panthers and saying how awful they are. Like, and it's not like the Patriots are going to be this new rival of the Carolina Panthers.
You make a point. I'm trying to think of who like it would compare to.
But the Tom Brady is interesting because he kind of hyped up the idea that he was coming back. Like he knew that he wasn't coming back, but it's like why? Like I'm not a huge Patriots fan, so I can't really speak to the emotions of Patriots fans. But I feel like if Cam Newton did that, then that just would not be okay, and he'd be hated for just totally kind of cock blocking the fan base. But can Tom Brady get away with that because of the Super Bowl rings?
I think he has in a way, and I think a lot of people in this area are player over team in this case, which is kind of weird because the whole New England way is no one player is bigger than the system. So it's kind of weird seeing all these people like you don't care when all these other people get cut. It's just next man up, next man up, next man up. Obviously, Tom Brady's been the consistent person there the entire time. But at the end of the day, the Patriot way is next man up. So I feel like a lot of people are being very loyal to the player, which he's done. Obviously, he's the greatest of all time. But they're choosing the player who chose not to be on your team over the team right now. Being traded and signing in a different place is probably different. I don't know. Or just wear a current player. Or just wear a shirt that says Red Sox on it.
Yeah, I feel like the easiest way to avoid that is not get jerseys with players on them, but as in like most of the jerseys I get now are soccer jerseys because either I really love the club's backstory or the supporters. I never get them with players on the back just because either they're designed really cool because they're so unique, or the club is owned by the fans and they just have a really cool backstory. I watched a little mini documentary about them, like, oh, that's a really interesting club. But I feel like NFL jerseys are so plain, and a lot of American sports jerseys are very plain, that if you didn't have a name or number on them, it would just look really weird. Like a soccer kit without a name or a number, that's totally normal. Like that's kind of the norm. Whereas if you were to get a plain, I guess to get away with a plain baseball jersey, but like a basketball or a football jersey without a name or a number would be odd.
Oh, 100% agree with you. Um, I guess the main, like, I don't, if I'm at a stadium, like, it's just to me, it's questionable for me if you're wearing someone that doesn't play on the team. If they're retired, that's a totally different story. Like, if Tom Brady retires after this year and people are just wearing 12 jerseys at Gillette Stadium, like, that's totally understandable and great and everything. Like I said, the only Patriots shirt that I have aside from my Brady jersey is a Drew Bledsoe shirt. I'm also probably not going to go out and buy a jersey. I might just wear my Bledsoe shirt and call it a day.
You probably won't be able to go to the stadium anytime soon. So,
It's an excellent point.
all right, before we wrap up this episode, I have to tell you about this other show I started watching. because it has brought a new sport that I love. The show is called Home Game, and it is a docuseries where they go to different countries and explore like really odd sports that are like traditions just within that country. And I was, I didn't want to start from the beginning. I kind of just want to browse through some of the episodes. And one of the episodes I found was about Congolese voodoo wrestling. So, of course, the first thing that came to my mind was, what is Congolese voodoo wrestling? So I clicked on the episode. It's called Catch Fetiche.
I
And
have
this,
a clarifying question.
yes,
Is it the Democratic Republic of the Congo?
yes, is the DRC. Good question. This is the description of the episode on Netflix. Professional wrestling in the Congo mixes athleticism and showmanship, but adds a layer of voodoo mysticism that makes it unlike anything else. So, of course, I said, I'm going to watch this. And good Lord, it is the greatest sport on earth. It is amazing. One of the characters that they follow is a Giga, the champion of Kinshasa. Kinshasa being the capital of the DRC, obviously. And it is just like professional wrestling, but there's voodoo involved, and it is amazing. Now, the WWE, I've never been into professional wrestling. I always thought WWE was kind of stupid with, you have The Undertaker and Vince McMahon is ringside doing whatever. You know who's ringside during Catch Fetiche?
A chicken.
There are chickens, but ringside, there are witch doctors. And the key to winning is to incorporate these voodoo spells on your opponents to help you win. But you also have to be very athletic. So people are getting body slammed, they're flying off the ropes, but all of a sudden, an opponent will just freeze because he's caught up in a spell. Now, Giga, the champion of Kinshasa, you want to know why he's the champion of Kinshasa?
Why?
Because this dude can take two wrestlers by himself by hypnotizing them into either fighting each other, or he just hypnotizes, freezes them, takes their skulls and just cracks them on each other and throws them down. There's a reason he's the champion. It is amazing.
Will it outperform Fight Island?
It won't, but it should. Because Dana White likes to act like this tough guy, but I'm going to tell you right now that Giga could probably take Dana White without the spells. I mean, the champion of Kinshasa, the dude's jacked. I think you could take Dana White, but I mean, you're throwing spells in the mix. Xander, some of these wrestlers can turn their opponents into goats. That happened. I hate to spoil the episode, but that happened. In the championship match, someone cast a spell on their opponent and forced them into a coffin. So he closes the coffin, and then after a minute, there's just a big plume of smoke, and his opponent is a baby goat.
Did he have a bad time for the rest of the match?
The match was over. That's the finishing move. Like, that's when you call the fight. He turned his opponent into a baby goat and just held him up and started running around the ring in celebration. Like, that was the finishing move. WWE has these, throw them off the ropes or body slamming people. Has anyone in the WWE turned their opponent into a goat? I don't think so. You know why? Because WWE is fake. But this, it's real.
It's real?
Yeah. I believe it.
So it's just like professional wrestling. It's real.
I did not say it's just like professional wrestling. I said it is like professional wrestling, except there's voodoo and spells involved. Okay? WWE, that's fake because there's running around in their underwear, body slamming each other. But when you start involving goats and casting spells and hypnosis, how is that not real? Laugh all you want, but let me tell you, Giga, the champion of Kinshasa, do you know what that man can do to you with his spells?
No, what can he do?
He is going to infiltrate your dreams tonight and just body slam you, and you're going to get off easy.
I hope not.
Do you have a dream catcher?
I do not.
I'd get a dream catcher.
At this hour?
You don't have a lot of time. Giga's coming for you. He can tell. It's daytime there right now. He's wide awake. He's training on his homemade weight set. He's going to infiltrate your dreams. I'm Pete Sippis. This is Sip Talk. Thanks for listening.